The anchorite! You're as bothersome as that damn Tremora! No matter. The votive rune is placed, and now you die!
You brought this on yourself, Dagonist! Damn these Waking Flame cultists, bringing their Mehrunes Dagon madness to Fargrave. Their votive runes infect mortals with dark magic. I came to meet someone about all this when I spotted that cultist and my hands began to glow. Just like yours. This is Fargrave, a city in Oblivion with permanent and open connections to other realms. The cultists place those votive runes faster than I can destroy them, putting every mortal who lives here at risk. That's why I agreed to meet with the Dremora. Lyrinth, the Dremora. She sent me a letter. Said the cult threatened Fargrave. Nern, too. She wanted my help, but I can't deal with that now. The votive runes are clearly the immediate danger. I need you to talk to my contacts. Madam Wim's establishment is here in the city. Initiate Teal'go meets me in the burn, out in the Deadlands. See what they know about the votive runes and the cult's plans. Then meet me in the Fargrave Crafting Plaza. Really? All I know is that she's a Dremora who has an interest in the Dagon cult known as the Order of the Waking Flame. This is where we were supposed to meet, but all I saw when I got here was that cultist and the votive rune he was casting. No. The votives mess with mortal emotions, make everything more intense. Not sure why. Lyrinth said the magic in her letter would allow her to recognize me. I think that's what the glow was. If only I could get the Grasp to care about all this. The Grasp of the Stricture. They're an order of Daedra, mostly Dremora, who serve as arbiters and interpreters of the Stricture. A magical covenant that allows Fargrave to serve as neutral ground for all Daedra. They enforce the laws. Well, since mortals aren't bound to the Stricture, the Grasp pretty much ignores us, unless we interfere with the Stricture in some way. As long as the cult and its votive runes only threaten mortals, the Grasps... Is it? I hadn't noticed. Look, we only just met. If you turn out to be trustworthy, I'll tell you the strange tale. If not, well, we'll deal with that if it becomes necessary. Perhaps. And maybe it's just a fashion statement. Now, go talk to Madam Wim and Initiate Teal'go while I make my rounds. I need to check on my charges around the city. As a crossroads, it's natural for people from everywhere to wind up here. I check on the mortals of the city on a regular basis, help them as I can. That's why Wim calls me the Fool of Fargrave, because I care. And it's why I... Then you know the cult is evil. They appeared recently, proselytizing in the plazas. Then they started placing those votive runes. Some kind of prayer to Mehrunes Dagon. But it intensified. The glow seems to have faded. For now.
Why won't you all just leave me alone?
Something terrible's about to happen. I just know it.
Another poor mortal succumbed to the power of the Dagonic votives. How unfortunate. But what's this? A new face? And what does Madam Wim always say? New faces bring new opportunities. Let's talk. Has anyone ever told you that you have an incomparable mien? Most in this celestial Palanquin we call Fargrave have the barest patina on their auras. But you, I know multiple buyers who would pay top price for a soul like yours. Shall we trade? What? Poor Josette? She's one of my favorite regulars. At least she was, before the votives affected her. First, she became belligerent, then extremely melancholy. Now she's practically mindless. But Tell me, darling, what brings you to Madam Whim's? She did she? All true, but I hate to brag. She's an unusual mortal, though, isn't she? Our darling of the alleys. And clever. She sent you so as not to increase her tab at the House of Whims. As a new customer, your first transaction is free. Ah, two topics on the lips of many a Fargravian. The Daganists are mortal rabble with a fetish for destruction. The votive runes are prayers to their prince made manifest. Spells that seem to affect only mortals, like poor Josette here. An interesting question. Alas, I have no answer. But you're not the only newcomer to our fair city seeking such knowledge. My eyes about town tell me that Lyranth the Dremora has come to Fargrave. She's in the shambles, searching for Sister Seldina. You want more? I'm giving away an awful lot as part of your free sample, but I am feeling generous today. Sister Seldina leads the Daganists here in Fargrave. She and Lyranth seem to have it out for one another, though I have yet to. As the name implies, I trade in eccentricities and capriciousness. I buy and sell as impulse dictates. My establishment carries indulgences from across Oblivion. And information, of course, along with food, drinks, and an amenity for every appetite. You came here without knowing, darling. How refreshing! Like an otherworldly conveyance, Fargrave personifies the existential concepts of transit or passage. It did start out as a strange nomadic realm, after all. That's part of the city's allure. It means if you want to travel the myriad corridors of Oblivion, there's no better launching point than fabulous Fargrave. In addition to our famous Plaza of Portals, the entire realm is littered with dimensional access ways. Plus, we have no prince. Without a prince to set the laws and manipulate Fargrave's reality, we're free to shape this city as we choose. The freedom that affords us is sublime. Plus, no prince means less chaos and violence in the streets, rogue cultists notwithstanding. Aren't they beautiful? One of our best features. No one is quite sure who or what they were, but legend has it they once carried the city from plane to plane, hence the allusion to a Palanquin. Is it true? Well, the skeletons are real enough. A personal query? That will cost extra, my darling. I am a Mezken, what your kind commonly call a dark seducer. Unlike many of my brothers and sisters, I use my charms to beguile and entice for knowledge and profit. I have no interest in violence. A terrible place. I urge caution if you decide to venture there. It's a warren of alleys, tenements, and ruins, hidden behind thick walls. Many mortals live there in the most appalling conditions, but it can also be a good place to conduct business. Oh, innocent mortal. The kind of business best engaged in, where the grasp of the stricture doesn't reach. It's a perfect location to hide a Daganist cult, seeking to cause chaos and mayhem. I'm surprised our darling of the alleys didn't mention that. Darling of the alleys, fool of Fargrave, woman in the mask. Ever since the anchorite arrived in Fargrave, she's gone out of her way to help the mortals cast upon our shore, and she asks for nothing in return. Pity I know so little else about her. Now, what should we do with...
All of you, stay away from me! Stay away!
Let's ride! I really don't like your odds.
Person I was supposed to meet. What do you want? Explain yourself, stranger. The Deadlands isn't a place for chance encounters. The Anchorite promises to get me away from the cult in exchange for information. I hold up my end of the bargain, and what do I get? Another fool seeking knowledge from Portilgo. This is the last time, you hear? Make sure the Anchorite knows that. They don't tell lowly initiates all the details of their master plan, but I hear things. Sister Seldina wants to take over Fargrave, make it an offering to Mehrunes Dagon. The votive runes play a part in that, but I don't know exactly how. Sister Seldina leads the Fargrave cell. She has a grand vision for the waking flame. It starts with Fargrave, but it doesn't end there. She wants the Dremora? She's practically all the Order's old guard talk about these days. Seems she's been causing a lot of trouble for Sister Seldina, interfering with her plans. Something's about to happen. Tell the Anchorite. Fargrave's in danger. The Order has camps throughout Fargrave and the Deadlands. Sister Seldina could be anywhere. But tell the Anchorite to check the shambles. Look for an abandoned building, someplace hot. I heard one of the Devastators complaining about the heat. If we were talking about the Deadlands, no. But the shambles is a different story. That section of Fargrave can't have too many places hot enough to make a Devastator uncomfortable. The Anchorite will figure it out. What? You assume every Dagonist is a true believer willing to do whatever their superiors tell them? I joined up because they promised me a better life. A way to escape the shambles. But they lied. The Anchorite agreed to help me, for a price. If Sister Seldina knew I was talking to you or the Anchorite, my life wouldn't be worth a scab on an Ogrim's elbow. I want out! Look, tell the Anchorite. She can find me at the Bearer's Rest in Fargo. Tell the Anchorite I'll be at the Bearer's Rest. She owes me, and I expect her to honor our agreement.
Over here, friend.
Lord Dagon will visit disaster upon this ash heap. Mark my words.
These new Dagonists are barely worth the effort. I followed them into the plaza and destroyed the votive rune before they even noticed I was there. And the Grasp decided to get involved, finally. Hey, did you learn anything from my contacts? Madam Wim didn't charge you, I hope. She usually lets you sample her wares for free the first time. After that, it gets expensive. The shambles... Hot? In the shambles? Must be the old baths. The furnaces beneath the bathhouse have been burning forever. But, damn it! No one is going to conquer Fargrave if I have any say in the matter. I suppose we need to investigate the old bathhouse. If we find Sister Seldina, maybe we'll find Lyrinth too. Once we enter the shambles, we can work our way together to the old bathhouse. The shambles can be a dangerous place, but it's also where the majority of Fargrave's mortals live. Warrens and dark alleys fill the area. There are 3 main paths through the shambles. We can take any of them to reach the bathhouse. Just that it's mostly abandoned, hasn't been used by anyone but squatters and vagrants for years. It's isolated at the northern end of the shambles, easy to secure and unbearably hot. The perfect location for the Dagonist leaders to plot and scheme. And I said I'd tell you, once I was sure I could trust you. Let's find out what's waiting for us at the bathhouse. Try to make contact with Lyrinth or Dremora. After that, we'll see.
Move, mortals, flee! You will see. Lord Dagon will devour you and your city.
Be silent! Your prince has no power here.
The shambles. Not a place for a casual stroll. Let's go check out the old bathhouse. Choose a direction. East through Skane Row, through the Western Warrens, or directly north through the Central Plazas. The Vanquished consider the Central Plazas to be their territory. We need to be careful here. Door should take us into the bathhouse, if we can open it. Locked, and with magic, damn. If the main door is sealed, let's see if we can get in through the courtyard. That door leads to the courtyard and isn't warded. Can you pick the lock? I never met a building with only a single entrance and exit. Let's look around the courtyard. There's got to be another way to get into the bathhouse. Because it's a big building, and big buildings always have multiple exits and entrances. Besides, we didn't come all this way to be defeated by a magical seal on a bathhouse door. That opens the doors. Maybe we can reach the keys below and get into the bathhouse from there. We should be able to find a way inside through the Undercroft. It runs beneath the bathhouse. Another ward. I think we can get past this one, though. I have an idea. Unlike the door outside, this area contains everything we need to disrupt the magic sustaining the ward and dispel it. I've seen the Daedra use these crystals to do all. I spotted a lucent among the debris in this hall. It's a Daedric crystal that can absorb and store the background energy that pulses through all the realms of Oblivion. Then take the lucent to the Dynamis font over there. That background energy I mentioned, the font absorbs it. Place the lucent on the font, and it will fill it with the charged energy. Finally, insert the charged lucent into the discharge labrum beside the door. That will release the energy from the crystal and disrupt. Remember, find the lucent, charge it in the Dynamis font, then place the charged crystal in the labrum beside the door. Once you understand it... That's definitely a lucent. There is common... Now take the lucent to the Place the lucent in the Dynamis font, and it should fill it with energy. That did it. Look how the crystal crackles with energy. Insert the charged crystal into the labrum and step away. You don't want to get scorched. It worked! And now you know how to use a charged lucent. Let's see what's behind that door. They're glowing again.
I see my spell brought the help I requested, but I didn't expect there to be more than one of you. Ah, my simple spell finally yields results. I was hoping it would bring you to me again, little mortal. I do so appreciate working with known quantities. But who is this other mortal who also carries my glowing brand upon their flesh? The Anchorite. An unusual appellation, even for a mortal. You must be wondering why I summoned you and then failed to be on hand to greet you. When I heard that Sister Seldina had arrived at their headquarters in the Shambles, I had to act quickly. You can plainly see that I did not. Finding this location took more time than I expected, and even then, getting inside has proven difficult. But now that we're together, I suspect we can make short work of any obstacles and locate Sister Seldina. My reasons are my own, little mortal. Suffice it to say, I want to determine how Sister Seldina plans to utilize the votive runes to seize control of Fargrave. She wants to use its many portals as a gateway between the Deadlands and Nirn. Even a Dromore of my talents cannot hope to stand alone against the Dagonists and an army of living disasters. I seek to learn Sister Seldina's secrets. You want to protect the mortal realm from total destruction. Together. She's smart and ruthless. A powerful combination in a mortal. She commands the Dagonists here in Fargrave and oversaw the creation of the Cataclysm. With that device, she plans to create an army of living disasters to unleash upon Nirn. Daedra empowered to unleash destruction upon the mortal realm and make it easier for Mehrunes Dagon to conquer Nirn. Did you know he's tried before? Dagon broke an agreement, and the doors between the Deadlands and Nirn were sealed. He can't use them. Sotha Seal, one of the so-called living gods of the Dark Elves, supposedly made a pact with various Daedric princes to protect Nirn. I don't know the details, but Dagon broke the pact. Sotha Seal slammed the doors and closed off Dagon's connection. Everything about Sotha Seal's pact is rumor and speculation, so that is what I hope to determine. And I want to examine the Cataclysm. The attack on Fargrave could begin at any moment.
Oh, it vanished again.
The spell has run its course. The glow will not return. Now, to deal with this ward. Come, I sense activity in the chamber beyond.
The Dremora again. Well, you're too late.
The
Ritual is almost complete. Dagon's blessing reverberates among the votive runes. Soon a Stop! The ritual must destroy the Daedra!
Mortal,
My plan
destroy the
depends
votive
upon
runes.
it! Futile fool. Lord Dagon himself taught me this ritual. All that work, ruined! You will pay for that, Dremora. You and your companions both.
Sister Saldina.
Take a moment to look around. Sister Saldina departed in haste. Certainly she left something behind. I did not think Sister Saldina capable of performing such a powerful ritual. You did well, mortal. A few more moments and the magic would have exploded across Fargrave, leaving the city defenseless and destroying all of the Daedra, including me. Yes, but she fled in haste. That means she probably left something behind. Let's search this bathhouse. Bring me whatever you find. Sister Saldina's abandoned paraphernalia. From what I could devise, the votives elevated the emotions of mortals in the city, siphoning the energy generated into Sister Saldina's ritual. She planned to use that energy to destroy the Daedra, including the Grasp, leaving the city defenseless. That would accomplish nothing. The Dagonists are experts when it comes to disappearing into the shadows. Sister Saldina will pay for her various insults soon enough. For now, see what she left behind when she fled. What did you find, little mortal? Tell me what you found, and I shall determine if it has any significance to my... Nor can I. And while your literacy may be in question, mine certainly is not. This is no language, mortal or Daedric. It is written in code, one used by the Dagonists for their more guarded correspondence. No, and neither could any lowly recruit we captured off the streets and tortured for information. This code is reserved for the Order's elite. We'll need to find someone who can decipher it. I'm sure Fargrave must have someone with those skills. We should leave. The cult's forces may have scattered, but no doubt Sister Saldina will send a force to try to deal with us. We should not... What I seek still eludes my grasp, so our business is not yet concluded. You ought to be grateful. I can be a powerful ally, when the mood strikes me. I will meet you back in Fargrave. I'm sure the Anchorite knows someone who can decipher the code.
Let's meet at the inn in Fargrave. Bearer's Rest. We can talk privately there.
Off we go!
So you really came all this way to stop the waking flame from destroying Fargrave?
Something like that.
I don't know what I expected, but it wasn't that. Finding the leader of the cult, watching as she almost completed a deadly ritual, and then allowing her to escape. I never fail like that. And all we have for our trouble is a coded message. Maybe this is Fargrave, after all. The city connects to everywhere. Madam Wim...
Little mortal, attend me.